Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show. Every week we've got a new guest for you, somebody important in the community that we think you need to know about, or know more about anyway. And this week we've got Tom Guinn, who is the Activities Director at Osage High School. Actually, probably for the whole Osage system, right? School of the Osage?
That's correct, yeah, the entire school district.
Wow, so, and that's not just the high school, but middle schools, elementaries, and everything else.
Well, high school, middle school, and then the elementary school, or the elementary level, we have OYAC, and thankfully we have a lot of very generous parent volunteers that help out at the elementary level. But yeah, I'm very hands-on with the high school and middle school.
Pretty important to have those parents get involved, isn't it? And I guess that can be a good thing or a bad thing. You could get little league parents, or you could get good parents.
Well, I found, I'm in year one at School of the Osage, and I found that it's all been very positive so far in terms of parent contributions and the way that they give to our community. And like I said, I've had a lot of really positive interactions, and those parents have done a wonderful job with OYAC and our youth programs, whether it be football or basketball. Just across the board, they've been really helpful, helping out with concessions and things like that.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so you're new, as you mentioned, your first year at Osage High School. New there, but not new to the area. You've been here for a little while.
Yeah, so I worked in the Jefferson City area for six school years previous to coming to Osage. I was in the Jefferson City School District for a few years as a teacher and coach, and then spent a few years at Hawaii Catholic High School as an AD. So I'm not a first-year AD, but I am first-year AD at School of the Osage.
Yeah, and you had quite a run there. Of course, Helias, known for some pretty good athletics there, and I think you won a few championships while you were there, right?
Yeah, well, first I'd like to say that I'm tickled to have the opportunity to be at School of the Osage, and there's no other place I'd rather be. But I did have some really positive experiences at Hawaii Catholic, and it's a wonderful work environment, and we did have some competitive programs, and I think we'll get to that point at some point with School of the Osage.
Yeah, I almost made a mistake and said Blair Oaks. But that's not. There's a little rivalry going on there.
Yeah, I don't have any ill will towards Blair Oaks. They've set the bar pretty high for our conference. We're now in the Tri-County Conference, and they've set the bar pretty high, and we're going to aspire to meet that bar and start to compete at that level.
Absolutely. So you are in charge as activities director of activities, right? Mm-hmm. And that is more than just football or basketball. It's everything. So I'm sure that keeps you pretty busy.
Yeah, I think one of the forgotten aspects of the position is we umbrella also under band, choir, cheer, dance, some of the things that really bring a lot of excitement and the ambiance to the athletic atmosphere that probably should get more recognition, and part of my job is to make sure they get that recognition. So our cheer coaches, our dance coaches, our band, our choir, I really would like to speak to them as much as possible while we communicate today, because they do such a phenomenal job, especially at School of the Osage. If we hang our hat on anything, it's our fine arts department, and we have very, very reputable programs. Our participation levels are through the roof in those departments as well.
Wow, and very good quality too. I mean, I'm thinking of your band during the football games and stuff like that. Just really good.
The sound and the showmanship that they bring each night is incredible. And I think that speaks volumes to Jeff Kyle, our band director, and what he does. You talk to any administrator in our district, and they will tell you that he knows his stuff. You walk into his classroom, and the kids are paying attention; they're on task. And I think the organization that he's shown me in the first few months of the school year is just phenomenal.
That is cool, and it's probably invaluable for you to have people like that know what they're doing, being able to keep things going, because you've got probably literally 50 to 100 different things going on every school year. It's tough to keep up with all that.
Yeah, and another thing about our band and our choir and our dancer, they're very self-sufficient, which I can appreciate, because there are a lot of moving parts when you're talking about all the different programs that we have to manage and organize. And when they can take on some of those tasks on their own without me having to be there holding their hand, it really goes a long way, and it's a much appreciated through our administration, not only at my level, but also through our principal and our assistant principal, and even in our central office.
Right. So you're the activities director at sports and its activities, but I hear you have a certain love for soccer.
Yeah, I mean, my background was in soccer. There's no doubt about that. I don't have any bias as an activities director. I don't think you can in this position. Maybe, people like to use that phrase, good old days. I think that there probably were some times when an athletic director could have shown some bias towards a particular sport, but I certainly didn't take on this role. I didn't aspire to have this role with any particular bias towards one sport.
Yeah.
I do love soccer. It's near and dear to my heart, but I don't think this position allows you to show any favoritism to one sport. I did grow up in the St. Louis area. It's St. Louis, Kansas City are kind of some hotbed areas for soccer, especially now. It's kind of an up-and-coming sport. They have MLS in Kansas City,
yeah.
And they'll have an MLS team now in St. Louis here in a short while. And so I did grow up playing. When I coached close to 20 years, that was the coach the sport that I was involved in, boys and girls.
And actually, I think you led Springfield Catholic to state titles, right?
Yeah, and those were fun times.
I bet.
Great memories, great teams, and such valuable learning experiences, especially now as an AD. I can kind of lean on those years to kind of reference it. At evaluation periods with coaches, I can sit down and kind of share those experiences with them, and I feel like I had a really good opportunity to learn what it takes to have championship level teams. And one thing that I think most important was knowing that it wasn't just me. You cannot win a championship based on coaching alone. You have to have some luck. You have to have a lot of community support. You have to have some administrative support, and I think most importantly, you have to have a unique set of kids who get along well, have a ton of camaraderie, and also very important is having parental support.
Yeah.
If parents can get along off the field, and just everything has to come together.
Yeah.
And so those were great years.
I bet they were some great memories. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully you can bring some of that with you to School of the Osage here as
interestingly enough. I didn't do this research on my own, but School of the Osage has never won a state championship in any athletic program. So obviously that's something we're going to aspire to do.
Yeah.
And we can't wave a wand and make that happen, but obviously we're going to do everything we can and work our tails off. And anything I can bring to the table to maybe make that historic mark, I'm going to do. I'm going to do the best of my ability to make sure that happens.
Very cool.
And I think we have some fall coaches right now across the board who are just tremendous role models for our kids. They work their tails off. And I think we have the correct people in the correct positions. We're just going to need to have some, like I said, a magic group of kids come along to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting to know the new AD, Tom Guinn, at School of the Osage. We'll have more with Mr. Guinn right after this.
Your time on the water is limited, and Hy-Vee and Osage Beach knows it. Let us do the shopping so you can maximize your lake time. With our Isles online app, you can have your groceries delivered or ready for contactless pickup when you arrive to the lake. With all your grilling favorites, snacks, fresh produce, and home to the lake's largest wine, spirits, and beer department, your weekend at the lake starts with Hy-Vee and Osage Beach, where you'll find a helpful smile in every aisle.
It's our most protective wash yet. Introducing the Quick Car Ceramic Wash. It's an industrial-grade polymer solution with ceramic nanotechnology, resulting in high-end, advanced scientific protection of your vehicle's finish. The Quick Car Ceramic Wash. Try it on its own or with the monthly Unlimited Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time. In Jefferson City and Osage Beach.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by Hy-Vee, both in Osage Beach and Jefferson City. And we're talking with Tom Guinn, the Activities Director at School of the Osage, the home of the Indians. And right before the break, we were talking about the pretty great, amazing crew that has been assembled of late at School of the Osage. You got Coach Engelbrecht in basketball. He's a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. You got Coach Jolly in football. This guy is a special football coach. Mm-hmm. You come in, Dr. Laura Nelson. I mean, it's just a good bunch of people you've got over there, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, the work environment is through the roof. I enjoy coming to work each and every day, and working with some of those guys that you've mentioned has been a lot of fun so far, especially through the fall. Coach Jolly and I have a pretty good work relationship right now, and he's doing a fantastic job with our football program and just a tremendous role model for kids. I haven't had the chance to work with Coach Engelbrecht. I mean, obviously I've had some interactions with him, but I really am looking forward to boys basketball, and he's a Hall of Fame coach, and I can't wait to work with him a little more closely as we get closer to basketball season. And you know, interestingly enough, as you suggested, the fall it's heating up right now. I mean, well, actually, we're in the middle of it, so it's not heating up, but it feels like it's heating up because we're approaching district play in a lot of programs. Mm-hmm. District golf is right around the corner. District tennis is actually this weekend. District softball is right around the corner. So believe it or not, some of our fall sports are already wrapping up, and we can start to think about basketball. But we've had some success this fall, and I'd like to really specifically point out our girls golf program. It has been doing really well, and I think I'm excited to see what they'll do in district play. We have some girls who are shooting in the 70s pretty consistently. Wow. And in addition to that, we don't have any seniors on our girls golf team. So if there's one program that I'm excited to see what the future holds, it's them.
Ooh, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So what do you like most about being an activities director?
Every day is different, and it's unpredictable. Some days things just run so smoothly. There's no hiccups along the way, and then I had my mentor, Mr. Dwayne Klingman, tell me, "Well, just wait, because tomorrow you'll want to throw your fist up against the table." Because you're throwing curveballs every once in a while, and sometimes those curveballs are out of your control. And I'm somebody who likes to have things in line and details, and just really organized, and sometimes even as organized and detail driven that you can be as an AD. Sometimes there's some things that come up that you can't control, and believe it or not, I like that. Yeah, well, I mean, just because it keeps me on my toes.
Right.
So I do enjoy being an AD for those reasons. I also love interacting with the coaches, some of the coaches that you mentioned before, because it's interesting working with some of the veteran coaches, and then some of the newer coaches, and then some of the coaches who are right there in the middle, and they all communicate differently, and just trying to figure out how everyone works and operates, and providing them with some input along the way.
You got to have to be an AD though, you have to have a special personality, because you're dealing with coaches who are usually very hard-driven and competitive people and stuff like that. So it takes a certain magic to be able to weave that all together.
Mm-hmm. But again, that's just one of the components of the job that I really enjoy.
Yeah. And you've got a young family, right? Young daughter. So you just have it moving everywhere now.
Yeah, I mean, she just turned 1 in July. My wife and I have lived here at the lake for 3 years, and that was the primary motivation to move from the Jefferson City area to the lake and get a job closer to home. And my wife also works in the area with Lake Regional Hospital, and so for both of us to serve the community in the same area has been wonderful for our family, and it's allowed me to spend a little more time at home. You know, as an AD, we do a lot of evening supervision and things like that. And you asked what are the things that I love about the job, and that's one of the things I do love, being at so many events. And you get a handle on what each program and each athletic event brings to the table. On one night I'll be at volleyball, and the next night I'm at boys soccer, and then obviously we have Friday football. And just to be a part of all those exciting venues is something that I really love. But as much as I love it, I like to be at home too,
Yeah.
and spend time with my daughter and my wife.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we'll get to know a lot more from Tom Guinn in the future because he'll join us to update us on everything going on School of the Osage. Thank you for coming by and joining us. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.